just gonna wait one more minute, make sure everyone's in here. Jane is joining. All right, so I think you guys are all on here. Hopefully you all can hear me. I'm gonna mute you, but feel free to unmute yourself if you have a question, or just ask it in the screen. And so today, thank you guys for joining me. The majority of you, I'm gonna be honest, I've not set up an account yet for you, and I'll explain this program in just a minute. So this is on Toolkit CMA. This is a program that you can actually create CMAs and listing presentations. Typically, if you don't have a brokerage account, I want to say, and I should look, I'm not sure what it is right now. I know in the past I had agents that used to pay $30 a month for it. I don't know if the price has gone down above or below, but for our agents, you do still have to pay for it, because this is a program we have to pay for. However, it's a little different. Whereas if you went and tried to get this program on your own, it would be $30 a month and you'd probably be locked into a year contract. Through our office, we set you up an account, and let's say you use this program in August. We bill you $15 because that's what we get charged. We get charged every month for it, for whoever uses it. If you don't use it in September, you won't get charged another $15. So it's not an ongoing thing. It's just the actual month. And it is the 1st to the 31st. So if you use this August 27th, and then you use it again September 3rd, you will get two $15 charges. That's only because that's the way Toolkit CMA bills us. However, you can make unlimited CMAs. So it's not that you can just come in here and make one. You can make 1 or 30 of them, and you'll still only be billed $15. And I will explain a little bit more of that when we get in here, and reasons you might make 30 of them as opposed to just one. And yes, you can use, I know some agents are using RPR. That's a great program to do something similar as this. And some are using, there are really nice looking listing templates in Design Center, and Breakthrough Broker has some. But in terms of getting the data from MLS and putting this in a nice presentation for your client, I think this is one of the best programs out there as far as the ease of it. And so that is why we have this. Some of our biggest listing agents use this religiously. Tammy Cooper is an independent agent. She uses it all the time. Mary Esther Carrasco has been using this for years. So there are a lot of agents, Fiona, Tony, they use it. If you need a walkthrough or help with it, let me know. After this class, I will put your emails in there and make sure that you get set up so you can sign in. But in order to sign in, you'll use toolkitcma.com. And this is more for if you're going to actually do a listing presentation. Let's see if I remember my login. Oh, good. I saved it. That was smart of me. Okay. Go. Okay, so I'm going to use it as a demo right now. And here's the thing. After this class, when I send your logins, you can go in here and play. This will be the first screen you see once you log in, but you can play around with it as much as you want and you won't be charged. There's a specific spot that we get to when you do actually have to pay the $15. So I will show you that spot, but you can go in and set it up. You can go in and create your profile. You can see how it works and not be charged a thing. So first off, when you do log in, I want to mention that over in the right-hand corner is your profile. And so you will want to come into agent profile, fill out your name, your company name. Some of it will auto-populate from what I put in. You'll want to put in if you have a website, any of that, your email. Although your email should probably auto-populate. You'll also want to put in your photo, your headshot. Now, if you have reviews from anywhere, whether it's Zillow, you can see there's a few different sites here. You can actually import your Zillow reviews, which is kind of neat. Or you can import them from a few different places, Real Satisfied as well, which I think comes in through Realtor. However, you can also, I don't know too many agents that use that page, but that goes along with the listing presentation. You can also put in references if you want to. I'm not sure everyone does that these days, but that is a good, maybe you're going into, like I have an agent right now who's working this one street, and she has like 3 listings on Barnesford Lane. And so maybe she wants to put in those neighbors. That would be great to recommend. And then I'm not going to go through these ones right now, but I will go under customize, and we're going to kind of talk about this, but there are cover photos you can customize. You can change those photos out. So like if I don't like that photo, I might want a nice picture of a house or something. This is for your cover photo for your listing presentation. And then under personal pages, I will mention that. So what this program is going to do is create that listing presentation, as I said, with a CMA. But if you have special pages, such as I have a page that I put on our Google Drive that is all about the different marketing things that we do, and so you could actually upload that as a PDF and automatically put it in your listing presentation. And if you have questions about that, let me know and I can explain it. But we're going to focus right now on the general, and that's just if you want to upload custom ones for you. Another option might be you might have a custom page that has all your awards or something like that. All right, so here you can see we're in presentations. You can create flyers here. We have so many places to create flyers. This isn't usually where I recommend it, but that's an option. We are going to go in and create a presentation. And as you can see, there are other presentations in here. So if you guys want to go in and play around, you can do buyer's presentations. You can do a Spanish version. So pretty neat. There are other things that you can create in here. The collection has to do more with luxury homes. It just brings in the luxury branding. But we are going to stick with a simple listing presentation. All right. So right now, what you're looking at is a list of pages that are optional for your listing presentation. And so if I click on one of the pages, I can actually see that page. So this is my current page. Let me see. I think I can I double check? No. Okay. So I don't like this mode, but that's okay. There's another way you can look at this. Anyway, so you can go through here and click the pages, and these are 3 different types of presentations. So I kind of like the one with the photo better. So I might say, you know what, I want a listing cover page with my photo. However, if you have a photo of the property, you can also do one with the subject property, etc. Next is a cover letter, which you can decide whether or not you want. If you click on it, you'll see an example. Then this is for FSBOs. I'm selecting all of these so you guys can see the different types of pages. The competitor is more if you know you're going up against a brand. I don't really use those. They do sound a little more like they're for recruiting. I'm going to check more of these so you guys can see them. Polymer. So these are all the different types of ones. I like the photos, so I'm going to keep the photos in there. Property graphics. So you don't have to check all these. Once you go through them, like if I click on them and I don't like that one, I can uncheck it. You can see that there are the reviews here and so on. So there are lots of different pages. Once you guys go through this and you find all the pages you really like, if you click this set as default button, then every other time you come in here, you don't have to go through those pages. They will stay in your presentation. And so it looks like a long list of pages. you'll see when I go through these, you don't need half of the pages I'm about to show you. I just want you to see how many options you have. So that I'm going to press next, and it's going to walk me through filling out the pages. So to start, it will ask for the presentation date, the name of your clients, the address, how you want to greet them. If you're not sure how this works, you can hover over. It will say, if your prospects are Tom and Mary White, you might enter Tom and Mary, or you might do the Joneses, etc. The zip code and everything. So I'm going to do next. This is the cover letter. That's an optional page. If you don't like the cover letter, you can change it. Or maybe you don't even want to use a cover letter. Maybe you want to talk about in the letter how great you are in that neighborhood, how you know that neighborhood really well. But here's what I want you to know is once you get a cover letter down, let's say it's one you're going to use throughout every listing presentation you ever do. Once again, there's this Save as Default button. And so if you click Save as Default, then the next time you go in, you don't have to retype the letter. All right, so now I'm going to do a demo. I'm going to do this with Sabre. So we're going to come under here. You can see that we also have links to Central Hill Country. If you guys use that, you can add your own listings, which I don't like to do. But you'll see this, you won't see demo properties. You will see San Antonio Border Realtors. So I'm going to click Get Listings. And here's what I'm going to go get the listings from MLS. The CMA, I'm going to do pretty quick here. But just so you know, all the steps I'm about to do are written out in this button right here, MLS Download Guide. It tells you every step that I'm about to do, okay? Well, besides actually finding the properties, I think. So we're going to click Connect to the MLS. I'm going to say Sabre member. I think I have my login saved. I do. I'm going to log in. Here's the part I'm not great at because I'm not a real estate agent, but I'm just going to do it anyway. Okay, we're going to go to search for listings, single residential. Okay, so when we come in here, we can go in. A lot of you do different ways of doing this. I'm just going to select my boundaries. Hold on. So this is the CMA part. Hopefully you guys have a way to, if you're a newer agent and you need walking through the actual CMA, deciding what properties you're going to use and so on, please see April, because again, I'm not a real estate agent, so I'm not necessarily the person telling you what properties you should be picking to compare. So that's not what this is about. This is about the actual program. Reset. This is about the actual program of how you can create the presentation with Toolkit CMA. So I'm just going to use this. I'm going to mark these boundaries. Okay. And then maybe I'll just say bedrooms 3, baths 2. Count how many results do I have? Oh, well, that wasn't good. Maybe I didn't mark the right area. Oh, hold on. And I should be doing sold, right? And of course, some of you might be doing pending. I'm not sure how you all do that. Count. Maybe I didn't do a good area. Okay, let's change those boundaries. I don't know where I marked. Did I mark a commercial area? Apartment building, maybe? Hold on. Okay, I probably did. Just trying to get this part in really quick. Okay. Count. What am I doing wrong, guys? Okay, I'm gonna just make a bigger boundary.
It's not showing us the part where you're trying to draw the boundary.
Oh, you know what I'm doing? Oh, it's not. Okay, so
No.
Hopefully you guys, if you don't know how to do it, the CMA part, you guys just need to let me know. And April will help you with the actual CMA part. Let me just go 6 months back. Count. Wow, it's only giving me one listing too. Hold on. Reset. Okay. Do you guys see something on my search that would say, oh, it's because it's only our office.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
We can't see your search.
Well, yeah.
See the area.
I'm not really trying to focus on the search part because I just want you guys to see, because I want to focus on the presentation. The CMA part, please, again, sit with April, talk with her, and then she can really find something for it. She can walk you through that part a little bit easier than I'm going to do right now. So I'm just going to go in and really quickly, like I'm not even really looking at these. I'm just going to check a few that I want to use for the presentation. So that's what you want to do. Go in, find the ones that you want to focus on for your presentation that makes sense for the CMA that you're doing. Talk to April if you do need help with the actual CMA part. So now that we have the listings that we want to use in our presentation, this is where we can now use Toolkit CMA. So, and Shira, I know you jumped on a little bit, but this is being recorded. So essentially Toolkit CMA, you log in, we're going to select a listing presentation, and there are pages that you select. And now we're in the part where we connect to MLS. So once you find those properties, do you all see the little folder button with the arrow? This is what you are going to check. So you're going to check the properties that you want to use. Maybe it's 3, maybe it's 5, depending on how you do your CMA. I will say, if you have the subject property, you can also include that. If you're able to find that MLS, you could put all these, you could write all these MLS numbers down and actually put the old MLS number for the listing you're doing and include that as well. I'm just not going to do that this time. Let me know if you need help with that, because I do know how to do it. So I'm going to click on there, and it says all selected listings, so that blue folder with the arrow. I'm going to say next. I want to include, right here is where it says it actually has a connection for Toolkit CMA. So select the fields you want to export. You want to export the Toolkit CMA fields. We're going to press next. Here, you have to check include primary photo, because what that's going to do is download the photo so you can put it into your presentation. And this, again, well, I'll show you in it, but this is in the instructions. So we're going to press continue. And if you didn't see, when I said continue, that downloaded down in this left-hand corner, it downloaded a zip file. Now, for all of you who are very familiar with zip files, often we have to go through and we have to export things and unzip them. Do nothing with that file. Don't touch it. Don't unzip it. Leave it alone. You don't need to go in it. That, I know, confused me even for a little bit. When you are done that part, when you're done downloading the zip file, you can just X out of MLS and we're back in Toolkit CMA. Now, I know this seems like a lot of steps, so if anyone needs help walking through, I've walked some agents that use it. I've walked them through a dozen times. That's okay. We're here to help you with it. So don't think you have to remember that. But I really want to show you at least what this does. It's really neat. So again, those steps are right here. Now I'm going to click Upload, Choose File. And oh my gosh, it's not going to let me, is it? Because I'm in... All right, I'm in the demo mode and it's not going to let me. So we're going to typically you can press choose file after all that. And when you choose file, it uploads. You're going to look for the zip file, click on the zip file, and it uploads that file. Okay. But because I'm in demo mode, it's not even going to let me upload my file. So this just uploaded data for me. And in the same sense, it would do this exact same thing if you uploaded the zip file. It would put all this out here. So you can see the listings that were chosen for me. Now you can select them all. So if you only downloaded 4 listings, you just select them all. Or you can select the ones you want to use. Okay, these are a little all over the place. That's okay. And if you do have one that is a subject property, you can also choose that one. I'm just going to choose those 3. Let's pretend one is a subject property. That one's very different. There we go. And then we say next. So you're just choosing the ones you want or selecting all. Next. So these are a bunch of photos. I don't usually use this part, so usually you skip past it. So don't worry too much about it. This is just if you want to show comparable photos. However, I do know some agents that like this feature because let's say that you want to include a photo of a pool because the property you're comparing it to doesn't have a pool. Or maybe there's a really good photo of the great landscaping. You can select that. Or maybe they have crappier floors than the property you're going to sell. And so you want to show, hey, we can maybe price yours a little bit better because they have old floors, you have new floors. So this is just one of the page options that you can choose to go in. So I'm just going to go through this really quickly. Okay, continue with presentation. Now these are the fields that they're gonna bring in to compare. So when you're sitting down with your client, you're looking at the address, the neighborhood, the style, all these things. So one thing I wanna recommend, especially if you brought in listings that are still on the market, add the days on market. Because if your client is saying, oh, well, I want to price mine the same as the house down the street, and that person's priced 20,000 over, and they've been sitting there for 160 days, you can show them, well, do you want to wait 5 months to sell it, or do you want to sell it quickly? And so you can show them the days on the market. There are other features in here, such as, again, if you want to compare whether they have a pool or not, or whatever that is, you can add in those other fields. Again, if you use these fields every single time you do a listing presentation, you can click that Save Default and Next, and it will always be in your listing presentation. So it remembers what things you like. This is because I chose a property. So now if your property is in the MLS and you downloaded that information from the MLS, the subject property, you can choose it from here, which is kind of neat. Or if it wasn't on the MLS and you want to include information from that property, you can type it in. You can also choose a subject property here, like upload a photo of the subject property if you have one. That's up to you. Don't have to do it, but it's an option. I'm going to say next. Okay, this is if you want to do this part of it. I don't know as an agent if I would do this here or if I would wait till I go see the house, but this is an option as well. Say next. All right, so Toolkit CMA looked at the prices of the homes that we selected, and they made a suggestion of a price range. However, you can adjust it. You don't have to go with what they looked at. They went they calculate it based on what you brought in. However, if you know that property might be a little less, or maybe you just want to give a bigger price range to work with here, go ahead and give that bigger price range. Just because you don't know, maybe you don't know what you're stepping into when you go into that home. You walk in, you've suggested it be 700,000, and you look at it and it should be more like 6. Hopefully it's not that drastic. There is a page that's optional with pricing strategy, and you can come in here and add what you want. You can also, this is where you need to put in your price range if you use this page. But again, all these pages are optional. It will tell you didn't put in the price range. This is if you want to include a net proceeds worksheet. Again, another optional page. Your marketing plan of action is kind of neat because in here you can update this. And again, if there's special things you do, such as it says take property photos, well, maybe take property photos and a virtual tour, or take professional photography. However you want to emphasize what you actually do, and that might be prior to putting on the market. So you might change this to prior to listing, and then first week, second week, etc. Once you get that down, you save it. You can keep going. And now we are finally at the page. If you guys go through and set all that up, you're not getting charged a thing. This is where the minute you click create a presentation, that's where you pay $15 a month. However, as I said earlier, if you just do one presentation or 100 presentations, you're still just paying $15 a month. And it's not ongoing, so you only pay in the month you use it. If you use it in August, you pay $15. If you don't use it in September, you don't pay anything, and it does go on your monthly bill. And yeah, so just so you know, like some ideas for this, if you know you're going to do a listing presentation, call some of your friends and family that might think about putting their home on the market in the future and ask them if they want a free CMA. Say, hey, I'm doing this already for a client and I have to pay for this program to do it. Do you want me to give you a free presentation on the price of your home? Put it out there on your Facebook. Hey, I'm doing free CMAs this week, right? That way you can do a few more for that $15. Okay, so I'm going to include a tablet so you can see it. This is where we get charged. We say create presentation. And this is going to give, I'm going to go through the pages kind of fast because, except for the ones I really like. Because again, on that first page, you have a long list of pages, tons of options. You don't have to use them all. I wouldn't use them all because no one wants to sit through over an hour listing presentation, which is what this probably creates. Select the ones you really like. And if you're unsure, you can always print some and get rid of them after you see them. So here's what it creates from all of that. So there's our cover photo that I mentioned you can customize. Here's the first Remax page. Now, some of these Remax pages I think are great to use because you can show how your brand does a really great job, right? But some of them I almost feel like are more for me, the recruiter, than less than for you. So here we go. We sell a lot of homes. It just kind of repeats that we sell a lot of homes. I don't think they're worried about your agent productivity, but some of these are neat too. It does show that we still sell a lot of homes. Maybe you want to show how many visits we get to remax.com though, because that shows that their listing is going to be featured on the #1 real estate franchise site. I don't know. Maybe you want to show that you don't necessarily want to, maybe you're not concerned about our agent count, but hey, we have offices all over the world. Your listing is going to be seen on our global website all over the world. So on and so on. There's hot air balloon facts. Maybe that's fun if they have a kid to show the hot air balloon facts. Although they are kind of cool. We do have the largest fleet of hot air balloons. This is just more about how Remax is very well recognized. The history Remax, maybe you want to include that if it's fun, but maybe you don't because you don't have to go over it. You can include some of these and not necessarily go over them too. This is a news sheet they put in. It's virtual tour, just explaining that you can do virtual tours. Pricing your home, you might want to include this one, just explaining, yes, we can price it at this level, but we might have to go down if you're overpricing it. Pricing guidelines. And here's where we started to fill stuff in. So this is where we took the property profile and we filled it in. Here is the subject property that I chose. And here we go with the fun CMA. So this is the property profile. Now here are all the options for other ones, okay? This is kind of neat. So if it had currently on the market, you would see them here and you'd see the days on market as well. If you chose some to compare that are currently on the market, it would say pending if they're pending. And then you can see the 3 that I chose that are recently sold. I really didn't do a great job here. As you can see, the year date is all over the place. That doesn't really happen in San Antonio as it does in other cities. There are maps of comparable properties so you can see how close together they are, if they're in the right neighborhoods. And there are a couple different maps. So really you're just gonna wanna choose one map if you wanna use the map. I'm just showing you what they look like. There's another map option. And now there are multiple ways for your client to compare the properties in different setups. So this is one option. Again, you're not going to want to choose all of these. I really think it depends on what you like. Here's another option where it goes a little bit more in depth with the homes. I'm going through it really quick. Don't need to choose all of these. There's the additional photos. So you can choose which additional photos you want to keep, as you saw in that one screen. You might not need all of those photos. Here are the ones that I like. So if I was an agent, which again I'm not, but if I was an agent and I was going to create this, I would probably not do those ones that get a little bit more wordy. I like graphs. I think it's easier to read. I think for your client, you can really compare things. So here, you have the subject property, and then you have the 3 that you're comparing it to. And what's really neat is you can see, you can go through this and say, all right, what was the square footage price? What neighborhood is it in? Is it in the same neighborhood? Were they built the same year? You guys will probably, you'll get them a lot closer than I did because you'll be more careful which ones you're selecting. But you can see lot description, back to woods, back to trees, green belt, not a green belt. You'll have those types of things. All of that, as well as any other thing that you chose for it to see. So it did bring over a ton of information. This is another way it sets it up where it highlights the listing property. It's very similar to that first one. It highlights the listing. Oh, sorry. This one right here didn't have the listing property in it. Whoops, going too quick. This one didn't have the listing property, whereas this one does. And so you're comparing the listing property to these other ones, I believe. Same with here, but it includes the adjustments. So you probably just are going to include one of those different graphs. Then this shows you the price range of the properties. This one gives you the price range and really shows the different, you can see like it compares it to the list price and the sold price, which is really, I think that's a great one to show. And then here is your price range. You can leave this blank. I know plenty of agents that do not bring a suggested list price, or they give a really big range before they go in, because again, you want to make sure you know what the home looks like inside as well. Same with pricing strategy. So you'd probably either choose this sheet or this pricing strategy sheet, as the pricing strategy also includes the list suggested list range. There's the seller's estimate. Down, marketing plan of action. Then there's a generic page about curb appeal. It ends with some tips for selling your home and why you should use a realtor. And then if you did have a resume or you had reviews, it would include those in there, as well as customer references. And then this in conclusion. So really, if you guys get that set up how you want to set up, choose the pages you want. The longest thing that it takes you to do is you have to go in and choose your properties, and then it brings it into here. So as you can see, this is 62 pages. You do not need 62 pages, so you're really going to want to go through and figure out which pages you do want to have. Then you can go in here and save it. You can save the photos if you want. This is available for 90 days, but if you go in and change it, it will be saved again. But you can, if you click save here, save it as a PDF. You can also share it and email it. So if you put an email in here, you can email a copy to yourself as well as your clients. And the tablet version is a version that if you're on a iPad or PDF, if you click on these buttons, it goes through it a little bit differently. So you could maybe have a paper one, but if you have a tablet, you can go through the tablet version this way, just so you can see. So that is Toolkit CMA. Again, I do have to send a few of you an account, but what I know I went through it pretty quickly. What kind of questions do you have?
Frankie, if you were in a tablet mode, is there a way where you could click on the link of the property where the person could see the photos? Because when we give them, you know, on paper, they're seeing just the front of the house.
Yes.
But if I was going to send it to somebody like a link, or I was going to show it to them, I might want to show them what the other houses look like inside to compare to theirs.
That's a good point. So if you look right here as I get to the property, so if you look before I got to the property, this arrow is grayed out. It's kind of cool. But then if I come in here and I go to the property I want to look at, the down arrow lets me look at those photos. So it does let you do that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. And if you click these 3 lines at the top, you can actually go to the part you want to go to. So you don't have to click through. Any other questions? Again, I'm here if you guys want to walk through doing one-on-one. And we can do a sample one in my account if you don't want to get charged.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I know you, and again, like just let me know. I'll send you your logins. Let me know if you have questions. You can see it saved over here. Oh, and we do offer printing and binding. The first 15 pages plus the front cover and the back cover and the binder is $2, which is cheaper than printing color here. And then any other page after that, I think we charge 15 cents, which is cheaper than, again, getting it printed on your own. So let us know if you want to bind one like this. Okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Guys, all right, take care, and you can always call me if you have other questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.